It's clear when we read Acts of the Apostles that proclaiming the resurrection of Jesus was not without its pain and suffering for the early church. From our perspective, we look at the resurrection as this unmitigated joy, as this glory, as this wonderful walk with the risen Lord, that death could not contain him. All of that is true. But think about it for a minute. The people that wanted Jesus dead also wanted him to stay in his tomb and took great precautions to ensure that that would happen. And because it didn't, it meant profoundly implications for the world. That if Jesus rose from the dead, then everything that he said and who he said he was true, and it would demand a decision of faith. So we see that as the apostles proclaim the resurrection of Jesus, it's immediately met with resistance. Because if indeed this man has been raised from the dead, then why didn't we believe in him? And why did we crucify him? And yet Peter explains that Jesus had to be crucified, had to die in order to rise from the dead and gain for us salvation. So for even those who were radically opposed to Christ, God was using them in his plan. There's a consolation in that for us, that even when we come up against sin, resistance, evil, both in others and in ourselves, God can still powerfully use that. It also means that there's a subversive nature to proclaiming the resurrection, because Jesus came to subvert the sinfully established order of things. So to even pray something as simple, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, is going to upset the established order of things, because what we're really asking for there is, God, come and reign over us, reign through us, take possession of us. And if he does so, all of the selfishness and evil and sin in the world has to go, has to be dissolved, has to be eradicated, which is requiring much change, both in us, in ourselves, and in the structures of our society. So proclaiming the resurrection has never been easy. It's never been without suffering. And it seems to me there's an intrinsic connection between the dying and rising of Jesus and the martyrs throughout the church. Because if Jesus is Lord, then no one else is. If Jesus' kingdom is the authentic one, then no one else's kingdom is fully that. We pray for the courage to proclaim the resurrection, because it takes some courage and boldness to say, it matters that Jesus Christ raised from the dead, and that we believe in this as the fundamental truth of history on which everything else pivots. We pray to the martyrs that their courage and strength may be ours.